I said to my management, I'm not even asked if this never comes out, do you know what I mean? I just want to make this record. It's very liberating, and it reminded me of the time doing Definitely Maybe, because you haven't got an audience. A Noel Gallagher audience? What is that? I don't know yet. We'll find out. It was a great feeling. And there was no internet forums. I haven't got a website. Nobody can contact me. I don't contact anybody else. The only people that knew I was making a record was the wife and my manager. And it wasn't even like we're making a record. It was like we're doing these songs for me. Searching for it, and I know when I get it. Sometimes I don't know how to get there, but when I hear it, I know what it sounds like. I'll always say, yeah, it's finished. They're never finished. They're either wrong or right. I've never been in a studio ever with no material and just gone in and said, oh, I've got this idea. To go in the studio and set the amps up and just, yeah, man, we just went in and just fucking played, you know, whatever. It was all, that's not art. That's, to me, that's not art. That's just fucking about. To me, art is writing it and rewriting it. To get from a point of playing the first chord to listening to it at the end, there's got to be some kind of emotional journey between you and the song. It can't just be like fucking 1,000% inspiration. It doesn't work like that for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I'll always be, from here on, in the job in minstrel, do you know what I mean? You've got the acoustic guitar and we'll try and write great songs. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. I like the kind of the discipline of that. It's like, this is what I've got. I've got no band. How am I going to do something new with this? The themes that are running through it for me are kind of romance and young love and escapism and the longing to leave one place and be in another. All the songs are quite emotional and they deal with real human emotions, whether it be love. There's not a lot of loss on the record. There's love and hope. I think hope is one of the key words, and love, and I don't know what the term is, but of the journey, do you know what I mean? To pass from one place to another. That seems to be the main themes for me personally. You can't fight the feeling. To do with life in the big city and relationships between young lovers, really. You know, with like The Death of You and Me, If I Had a Gun, Everybody's on the Run. They're songs about companionship between two people and kind of like, let's get out of here, man. This is kind of getting a bit too heavy for us, kind of thing. To me, it says something in it that I've never said before. It's like, you've got to be strong enough for love. It's very easy to be cool and cynical, and I'm one of the biggest cynics that there is, you know. But it's very difficult to just let yourself go and kind of, you know, to be in love. You've got to be strong enough for that, you know. So what happened is, I go to this place in Twickenham. It's like an old 60s studio. It's got all vintage equipment in it. The day that I started, I was halfway through and my wife rang. She calls me and says, well, guess who's pregnant? And I'm like, fuck. Wow. So I'm like, fucking, you're making a baby and I'm making an album. Wow. Why'd you get your head around that? What a That was all great, and then we kind of got some backing tracks done. Had a month off. Went back in the studio, done a few more, had another month off. Went on holiday. Just took a real kind of foot off the gas and just listened to it, which is a great thing. I listened to it for whatever it was, maybe 6 or 8 months or something like that, while we were getting ready to move house and Sarah was getting ready to have the baby. So it gave me a real kind of perspective of what I wanted to do with it in the end.
But I saw him go through a different kind of struggle. He's got to sing the whole record, and actually, I think that's the thing that he's really had to deal with, is that he's singing every song on the record. And that's quite a tall order because he's never had to do that before as such. When I heard If I Had a Gun, that to me was pure Noel. The lyrics are the best that I think he's written.
If I had a gun, I'd shoot a hole into the sun. Love would burn this city down for you.
But the delivery of it is going to be a lot more heartfelt. I think when you finally step up to the microphone and think, right, well, I know what this song is about. I don't have to explain it to myself, and I know where it's going, and I know what the point I'm trying to get across at whatever point in the song that is, instead of just somebody singing like this but reading the words down off a sheet of paper that don't mean anything to them. That's going to come across inevitably.
My eyes have always followed you around the room, 'cause you're the only God that I'll ever need. I'm holding on, I'm waiting for the moment to find me.
I've got no control over the music that I make. I'm not adept enough as a musician to go into a studio and say, you know what, I want to make a fucking jazz album. I can't do that. All I can do is sit with a guitar and wait in hope for something to happen. And that's what I do, you know. I call it going fishing. I sit by the river with the guitar, and if I get a catch, great. And that's what I do. It comes from somewhere within. It's not, I'm not brilliant. I can't read music. I'm not a great guitarist. I'm not a great singer. I'm not great at anything. You know, I'm great at being me and doing what I do, and that's it, you know.
You don't think of people as artists as being afraid, but once a lifestyle is created, people become very afraid of losing that. And then so that starts to infect their creative decisions if they're making mistakes. And I think that's kind of the killer creatively, is when people are afraid of trying things or afraid of taking risks. One of the reasons why I say working with Noel, he's one of the most positive creative people I ever work with, is because he absolutely works from a place of zero fear.
I was in America. It was at the height of some fucking war or other, and I seen a thing on the news program where a family had been told that their son was dead, and after it, this letter they'd written had arrived home. But they would never open this letter. He leaves the letters in the mailbox. And they were kind of religious family, and they say, no, he's not dead, he's just gone to heaven on his holidays. And I was just like, wow.
She will kiss the sky, shout from the rain.
He was a good worker with Dave Wright at the end, who hadn't heard the songs. I kind of sent him the tracks, and he said, it's great, but I need to come to London and speak to you. And I was like, when are you going to be in London? And he said, I'm not, I'm just going to come in for the night, we're going to talk about it. I was like, all right. He's going, right, I'll be there next Wednesday. All right. And I was thinking, right, well, he's not coming over to tell me it's brilliant. That's for sure, because he can do that on the phone. So he's coming over because he wants to lay something on me, and I wasn't quite sure what it was.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to hear when they think they're finished and they're saying to somebody, hey, we're done, you want to help us polish it off? And the person you're asking to has like much more serious concerns about it. I don't think it's a phone call or an email.
we get there and we hired a studio and we played the rough mixes that I'd done, and he was going, "This is great, but we've got to redo the drums." And I'm like, "What? The fucking drums? Listen to the song." So this went for about 6 or 7 tracks, and I kept saying, "Who cares about the drums? Take the fucking drums off and just have a tambourine. It's what? Listen to the tune."
The only reason to have a producer is to be focused on the things that are external to the creative internal process. And I think that's a hard thing to do. Noel's actually incredibly good at it, but I thought there were a couple things that could have been better, and basically told him that.
That's when I decided that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be a producer, because he was going, "Look, your job's already done. Those songs are great. The end. My job is now to make it sound amazing, and we've got to redo those drums."
It wasn't really about the drums. It was basically about my impressions of the whole recording.
I was a little bit crestfallen at the time, because I was thinking, oh, God, it's like pulling the foundations out of an house to build a basement, but so I knocked the house down. Do you know what I mean? I was going, "How's it going to work?" And he was going, "I can make it work."
Leave me in peace, I'm on the side of the angels. If I die in a dream, then let me live my life. But all the lies that they have told me, they make me wanna shiver when I'm lost and I'm lonely. That's not gonna ease my troubled mind.
In my opinion, you only get to make your first solo record once. And I think it was, like, to his credit, I think he was like, you know, not what he wanted to hear, but he completely came on board. I think it took him like a day or so, or maybe not even. By the end of the day, he was like, "Okay, what do we need to do?"
I couldn't comprehend what on earth he was going on about. So we go out to LA, take Jeremy, the drummer, the same drummer, and I was saying, "Do you know what he's going on about?" And he was going, "I don't know what he's fucking going on about." And then we were going, "Do you want him to play the same thing?" And he was going, yeah, you just got to play the same thing, but, you know, it sounds like a load of guys who've never heard a song before. And at the time, I'm just listening to the song going, "It's fucking amazing, doesn't, you know, oh, it's great." It took Dave to say, "Sounds like 2 guys playing in a room reading it off a sheet of paper." And I'm like, ah. And we were in Sunset Sound in LA, and, you know, we put the first track up, which was Everybody's on the Run. And off he goes, and the drums come in, and through gritted teeth, I have to admit, it sounded fucking amazing.
Hanging there, love, gotta hold on, gotta be strong enough, hanging there, love, gotta hold on, you gotta be strong enough.
But those were good days in the studio. Just, you know, let's try this. I don't have to pass the guitar to anybody else now. I don't have to wait for the bass player to show up because his fucking cat's got a cough or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like bang, 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 and then you listen to it at the end of the day and you think, "Well, it sounds great. We can make it better tomorrow."
I mean, for me, it was probably the most fun making a record I've maybe ever had. It was just Noel trying to find how to get, you know, how to get the best performance out of himself, and it was just easy and positive and fun and kind of amazing. No, I think it's an incredible album. And everyone, I think, involved, who, including him, is happy with it. So, you know.
I sent them the tracks. They give you a call and say, "Well, we've got choir practice on Tuesday. We've done some stuff. Do you want to come up and listen to it?" And you're like, "All right." You go to somebody's house, the kitchen in Crouch End. It's actually someone's house. There's actual fucking pets in this house and kids watching telly. There's about 20 or 30 people. Well, the full choir can't come tonight because, you know, blah, blah. There's just going to be a few of us. So I kind of, "Oh, we've got a chair for you here." And like, "I'm all right, just stand at the back. I'm cool, man," you know what I mean? And they're like, no, you've got to come down and you got the choir all around you. And so they're all kind of like school teachers and fucking, you know, accountants and all that. You're kind of sat on this chair and they're all staring at you. And then they start singing your song, you know. But it sounded great. It was great working with them. Nice people. They've done a great job.
Help me define the light that's shining on me, to get back what they've taken from me, and build a little fire where it's cold.
For a year and a half, I hadn't said a word. I was kind of amazed that nobody knew what I was up to. Fucking walking to Sunset Sound, the first day, there's another band in there. But I could just tell they were English by what they were wearing. And there's like a communal courtyard, and I was kind of sat outside having a cigarette, and they were up having their lunch. 18 months of like fucking bliss goes out the window in 1 minute when the singer decides he's going to tweet, "Wow, in the studio with Noel Gallagher, he's blaring out his new tunes, absolutely amazing." That goes on Twitter. Within 20 minutes, there's a deluge of fucking, "Are you in LA? What are you doing in LA? Why are you in LA?" Phone calls going fucking berserk. Manager, well, what are we going to say? I was like, don't say fuck all. Just don't confirm or deny anything. You know, and I was thinking, you spotty little fucking Herbert, mind your own business, do you know what I mean? Make your own fucking record. Don't worry about mine. Sunset Sound for a week or two doing that, which if anybody's listened to this and they've ever recorded in Los Angeles, then you'll know that is pretty much living the dream as a musician. Walking up Sunset Boulevard every day at like 11 o'clock, going to work, and walking back down at 11 o'clock at night thinking, just give me my stripy trousers and I am back in the 60s. This is it, mate. This is it for me. About, you know, things that you love but are bad for you. Drinking, women, smoking, hero worship. But thinking, but aren't those things fucking great, you know? Sausages, bad for you, but I defy anybody, apart from Morrissey, not to be down with the sausage. I was just sitting fucking about playing it, and I thought actually the way I was doing it sounded a little bit straight. I had the chords, and I think I had the words fully formed in the melody, and it was kind of in that shuffly Death You and Me thing. And it was kind of a bit kinksy, and I was thinking, sounds all right. And then, I don't know why, I don't know where I heard Strings of Life by Rhythm is Rhythm, but that piano thing at the beginning came on. It could have been on the radio, it could have been just playing around the house, I don't know what it was. I think it's in the same key, and I was like, could it fucking work like that? And I got the guitar out, and I was like, I convinced myself it could work. So I'd done a little thing into a dictaphone where I played the guitar in that kind of style and then kind of sang over the top of it to myself and thinking, fucking, that's great. So I booked a studio immediately in Dean Street. There was just me and a guitar, and I brought a bass. No drummer. Kind of got a drum machine out, and we'd done the drum pattern. Can anybody here play the piano? There's one engineer kid who was just making the tea. You know, I can play the piano a bit. And I dragged him in, and I told him what I wanted. He played it, and we sampled it. And over the course of a day, he was like, fuck, this is going to work. This is fucking brilliant. Turned out great. I don't know what I'm going to do with it live because I can only dance when I'm drunk. I don't intend doing gigs drunk, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it could be embarrassing.
We're going.
Maybe, maybe.
Fucking right. Here we go.
Wait for the call. Maybe.
Maybe. The thing is, it's so fast. It's like, maybe the dream.
I know.
Maybe. I'm a slave to whatever songs I've managed to pick out of the river, you know. Luckily for me, a load of songs came along that lent themselves to kind of different instrumentation and different ways of singing, different arrangements, and not the standard stadium rock thing.
From people who will be the death they do with me, 'cause I can feel the snow and clouds sucking up my soul.
A song like The Death of You and Me, great, that just happened. And the more I listened to it, the more I thought, oh, fucking, I can hear New Orleans in this. I can hear the rain in it somewhere, and I can see the guys walking, doing the goose step thing through the French Quarter. I can see it, you know. How do we get that onto record?
There are a few places on the record where it may sound like a horn, but it's not a horn. It's Noel singing, or it's a combination of Noel singing and a horn. I don't know, a few different spots actually.
And I would have done, I'll have done that. I will have done that, and I'll have done all the brass parts. I call it a mouth trumpet. Dave calls it goat calling.
That was when he's kind of going wah wah wah. That's that kind of doing a trumpet sound from a hall very far away. It sounded like he was calling a goat from the top of a mountain.
Sounds ludicrous, right? And then we mix them all together so they sound like a brass part. Right, well, let's get a brass section, and those guys with the brass on that, they're three guys from Bristol, and they fired up, and it was like, fuck me, you know, wow, that's incredible.
Wasn't ever really intended on being the sound. It was just kind of a mock-up for what a trumpet would do, and then we never really beat it, so it just wound up staying in.
Apart from What a Life, the other 9 songs I can sit and play on the acoustic guitar, and they're just as powerful, and they're just as direct, and they mean as much, and they're just as valid versions.
Yeah, he is totally receptive to suggestions, but what happens is that something will have a little bit of a life for a second on the track, and then it'll go away. And he always goes back. He likes to strip it back and go back to certain basics.
The guitar and the tambourine and the vocals, that's 90% of the song. You know, the rest of it is just making it as good as it can be.
I think from a writing point of view, on a few things, I think he has been honest, yeah. When you're 20, you can write about things that don't exist. When you're 45, you've got to write about things that mean something to you, and you know, you've got to say something about your experiences. Or you can still make shit up.
I kind of looked out with all the words. I really liked them all, and they were quite effortless to write most of the words. And I think they've all got a certain kind of power and meaning to them. Dream On is fucking nonsense.
Oh me, oh my, I'm running out of batteries. I'm hanging from a ladder.
Dream On is pop for pop's sake. The words just serve the music and the tune, so it doesn't really matter about the words.
Shout it out for me, come on. Shout it out for me, come on. Shout it out for Stop the clocks and turn the world around. Let your love lay me down.
Stop the Clocks was always going to be the last track on the album because you can't go anywhere after that. I wrote that in Thailand in 2001. Right, so it's 10 years old this year.
Lock the box and leave it all behind on the backseat of my mind.
For whatever reason, It's never been finished where anybody, least of all me, has gone, I'm really happy with it, I love it, let's put it out. Well, there's at least 3 versions of it on the internet. One acoustic, one kind of a bit more beefed up, and then another full band version. So when it came to do this album, I thought to myself, right, if I don't record this song now, that's it. It's never coming out. I feel a bit of a twat putting a song on an album that's 10 years old, plus a song that's had so much of a build-up with Oasis fans. But I've got to say, when I was recording it, I was like, yeah, sounds alright, sounds alright, put the choirs on, yep, sounds pretty good. It was only when my mate, referred to him as Strangeboy because that's his nickname, played that guitar solo at the end that I went, I fucking love it, that's it, it's done.
Done this other solo, and he went, why didn't you do that on the end of Stop the Clocks? It needs to be slightly melodic, slightly controlled, but slightly out of control, you know, sort of all the opposites going on.
Emailing my manager saying after 10 years and 11 separate versions, Stop the Clock's finally finished, and he was going on, I won't believe it until it's fucking in the shops. In Oasis, the benchmark was set within the first 2 years, and fucking God bless us, we tried and tried and tried and tried, you know, to climb those mountains again, and it was just like, in the end, I just accepted that they were just 2 moments in time, forget about it, let it fucking go. So I haven't set the benchmark. A year from now, there'll be a benchmark, and it'll be like, right, that's that, you know, and it might be, the benchmark might be down by my ankles, or it might be way above my head, and it may exceed everybody's expectations, or it may just be all right. It may just be another album. We don't know yet. But that's the great thing about it. Who knows?